starting
Okay.
out, do anything and you will get better,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
You don't have to like overthink it too much. But
Being
for the
able to love yourself and, validate who you are without any form of expression of it. And that's why I feel like that's what true confidence is in my head. Because
It gives us a journey of self-discovery through our art. Yours might be music or film or writing.
Always been my outlook on everything in regards to life. If I see anybody who has anything, my default is if they can have it or if they can do it, so can I.
We get to
Yes.
speak. We get to do a podcast. We get to work out. We get to. It's a privilege that people often complain and take for granted.
What if I told you there was a way to have a completely cleared mind, free from thoughts? What if I told you there was a way to have your mind completely cleared from negative thoughts and only focused on your purpose? Would you do what it takes to achieve this frame of mind? Well, the way I discovered this was through fasting. This podcast today is going to be about my experience with fasting and the benefits that I had and the negatives. So I'm going to get into it. But before we get into it, I need to have a disclaimer here. I am not telling you that you should fast and you should do the same thing that I'm currently doing. All I am saying is what's going on in my life. I'm just explaining what I've been doing with fasting, how it's helped me, how it's not helped me, and that's pretty much it. So if you want to fast, that's your own decision. Research it, try it a bit. Maybe don't do a long fast and see how you feel. And if it's a benefit to you, if it's a positive in your life, maybe continue doing it. If not, then don't. Completely up to you. This is just me documenting my experience with it so far. So let's get into it. So first, I want to get into why did I start fasting in the first place? So the reason why I started fasting in the first place was because I was on a very high calorie diet, 5,000 calories to be exact. And the thing is, me being young and stuff, it's very hard for me to, get 5,000 calories in of clean food. And maybe that's an excuse, right? But it's also very expensive to, eat like that. If you're eating like good quality beef, good quality chicken, while also trying to get 5,000 calories in with those right foods, it is very expensive. So it wasn't something I did. It wasn't the way I went about dieting. So the way I went about bulking was I was eating 5,000 calories a day. I'd aim to hit my protein goal every single day. And once I would hit my protein goal, then I would kind of fill in the calories. There were filler calories, just trying to hit 5,000, the number, right? And the problem with this, for so long, I felt so sluggish. My mind was so unclear. I would go to sleep and I would sleep for 8, 10 hours and I would still be tired. So imagine that. Imagine resting for that long to wake up and still be tired. And I believe this all comes from, you know, getting in a shit ton of calories in before bed, and your body's not actually resting, it's digesting food the whole night, right? So yes, it was good and it was what I needed to put on weight, but it was also hindering my performance by a long shot. And that's where I kind of had my last moment, or my last time where I wanted to bulk, was because my performance and everything else was hindered. My mental performance. Currently I am trying to pursue copywriting as a business model and as a freelancer, whilst also doing this podcast, getting guests on, coming up with questions, brainstorming ideas on how I can improve the podcast, and also my own social media, which has been growing pretty nicely. I think I'm at 5,300 followers now. So it's a lot of thinking. And besides all of those things that I'm trying to grow, I'm also trying to learn every single day, right? I try to read the Bible every single day. I'm also trying to study Japanese when I can. And I'm also reading books. So with all of these mentally like straining tasks in my day, having a shit ton of calories was not helping with that. It was leaving me slow. You guys can imagine if you've been through the same thing. It's like once you eat a 1,500 calorie meal, you're gonna feel tired after. You're gonna want to just lay there, right? And that's the way I kind of went about it. I would eat like 1,000 calories per meal, and that's 5,000 calories a day. But there would be some times where I missed a meal because I was busy with something. So then I would have to fill in those extra calories elsewhere, right? So instead of one meal being 1,000 calories, now it ends up being 1,500, 2,000. And it just put me in such a sluggish, slow. I had plenty of brain fog because all of the carbohydrates I was eating. So that's when I decided, okay, I no longer want to bulk. I no longer want to feel this and feel like a shell of myself when trying to perform at a higher level, right? So that's when I decided to cut out the bulking and start fasting. Because the reason why I started this like a week ago, is because during Lent season, if you guys are unaware, in the Catholic religion, during Lent, every single Friday, you're supposed to restrain yourself from eating meat, right? So this year, me and my brother came up with the concept that instead of not eating meat on Fridays, we just fast the whole day, no food, just water. And I'm telling you guys, I felt absolutely amazing on that fast, that 24-hour fast. Literally zero brain fog. Mental sharpness was at the top. It's something as simple as when I would go to church sometimes, right? A thought will come up into your head and you let that thought play out, and you're not really focused on what the priest is saying, and you're not really learning, right? Because in this part of my faith journey, I just want to learn a lot about my religion. So when I go to church, I want to make the most out of it because I want to understand what the priest is saying, interpret it, learn, and take something away from every church session I go to. But when I went on a fast, my mind was just completely clear. And this is the thing, guys. If you have fast in the past, or you're fasting right now, I want to hear your opinion on this. So let me know in the comments. When I am fasting, I have zero negative thoughts. Zero. Like, even if I try to have a negative thought on my own accord, I literally can't. It doesn't spiral like it does when I'm, bunch of carbs in. I don't know what's the science behind that, but it's just crazy to me because that was like one of the biggest benefits I had, right? It's because, like, if you're trying to pursue something that's difficult, you'll have self-doubt throughout the whole journey. But when I was a fasting, I never had those negative thoughts throughout the day. And we deal with negative thoughts every single day. So it's not something you can completely avoid, but at least with the fasting, it's like I completely avoided it, right? So I felt amazing on that 24-hour fast. And that's kind of where I got my what's the word? That's where I got my, I guess, my experience with fasting, for lack of better words, was through those 24-hour fasts during Lent season. That was back in March and April, right? So then I came to the point last week where I said to myself, man, I like, no matter how much I try to focus, I just can't, like, no matter how much I try. And it's because of like the diet. Like, people don't realize, but like, your diet is so important. Like, how you perform mentally is directly linked to your diet, right? If you're having a shit diet, you're gonna find it hard to focus. At least that's how I felt. So then me and my brother kind of like came to a conclusion that maybe we need to switch up our program. Maybe we need to start dabbling in biohacking, right? And right now, the whole biohacking journey, I'm very new to it, so I don't know much. But currently, the major thing we're doing is, I guess, fasting. And I am doing some cold exposure in the shower. But that's pretty much it, right? So then we decided to hop on a new program and start fasting for 16 hours a day, eating for 8. And eventually I want to cut that down too. Like, I want to go to maybe 20 and 4, like that would be the goal eventually. Because I'm telling you, at least for me, the fasting and feasting periods, that's when I feel the most optimal, right? So that's why we decided to start fasting. And also a big, I guess, epiphany I had in this past week was that I no longer want to pursue bodybuilding in its full extent, right? Growing up, ever since I started working out, I always had the dream of competing, right? I wanted to compete. But realizing it now and the goals I have set out for myself now, it's completely different, right? Like, I want to be successful with online business. I want to grow a platform, all these different things. Like, being a pro bodybuilder isn't on the forefront of my mind anymore, right? So we needed to change our routine to get it to a place where it was optimal and it helped our performance when it comes to the mental, right? Like, it comes to studying, learning, doing work on the computer, whatever the case may be. So we had to change up our whole plan. And yeah, I've been doing it for like almost a week now, I think it is. And I feel fantastic. Like, I can't even explain like the difference, man. Like, the difference with the fast and the focus I have is insane. Like, I don't even want to waste time. There's no time wasting on my mind. Even if I catch myself scrolling, I immediately turn that shit off. Like, I do not want to at all waste time when I'm fasting. It feels as if, laser focused. I got a task. Okay, do that task. Okay, move on to the next one. Move on to the next one. And I even found myself doing more than what was on my task list, which I haven't done in the past. And it's all because of fasting, right? And I can't give it enough credit of how important it has been in this past week, because I know if I'm able to perform at that level with that mental sharpness for long enough, the success is just going to come. It's inevitable, right? So that's why I like love fasting, and I would definitely recommend you trying it, not going full deep into it right away, because it is something completely different than what you're currently doing, especially if you're eating 5-6 meals a day like a bodybuilder, like kind of like I was. But definitely giving it a try. I guarantee you'll see some form of benefits. I know some people have said to me that they've tried it before and they usually don't feel that great, but at least for myself, it's the complete opposite, right? And I think this is a pure testament to the differences between people, because I know people that say fasting makes them lightheaded, fasting gives them a headache, they don't feel well, but I feel the complete opposite, right? It's the high energy feeling that you get with fasting. I just have black coffee and water throughout the day. And I just like have times where I would have crashed during the day and felt tired and maybe wanted to take a nap. That's non existent when I'm fasting, right? Because if I eat my first meal at 12, I get up at 4. I've already done 8 hours of work, gym, whatever the case may be, up until 12, and then I have my first meal. It's just amazing. Like, my productivity has skyrocketed, and I can't stress it enough. Like, when I speak about fasting with people, I'm not that knowledgeable when it comes to it, but I do speak about it very proudly and passionately because of the results I've had on a fast. So that's why I love it so much. Also, another benefit, which I don't think is beneficial, but this is just how I feel, is when I am in a fasted state, I get up so easily. Like, get up like there's no wanting to snooze. I just get up, attack the day, and it almost feels like I could run more optimally throughout the day on less sleep compared to if I was eating a shit ton of calories, which I guess there's some truth to that. I don't know what it is. Definitely in the future, once I get more knowledgeable about the topic, I do want to make like a breakdown about fasting. Maybe it could help you guys. But today's kind of just like explaining what I've been doing and how I felt on it. But yeah, so if I got 4 hours of sleep, but I'm on a bulk, the heavy bulk I was doing before, which is like I was saying, 5,000 calories. If I was doing that and I got 4 hours of sleep, holy, getting up was a mission. It was almost felt like an impossible task. But on a fast, 4 hours of sleep feels okay to me. It feels like, oh, okay, I don't feel that tired. Obviously, you're gonna feel tired. Like, it's not a superpower, even though it kind of feels like it. But I definitely get up and I only got 4 hours of sleep, and I'm like, damn, that feels pretty good. Like, if I was, eating the calories I was eating before, it would almost, like I said, it would be like, oh, there's no way I'm getting up right now to go to the gym. But yeah, also another thing I want to share is me and my brother are also implementing 24-hour fasts every single Wednesday, right? So tomorrow I'm most likely going to do it, but I'm here to be completely honest with you guys. I might not do it because the past couple days I've been very busy, and when I do fast, I don't eat enough in that window. So I don't know if it's really worth doing a 24-hour fast because I've been getting not any good amount of protein in recently. So I don't want to go 24 hours without eating because I feel like that's when, at least to me, maybe it's a mental thing, but I'm going to lose muscle because I haven't been hitting my protein goal recently. But yeah, we've been doing 24-hour fasts every Wednesday. And even with the digestive health, like you guys know, if you're bulking extremely hard, your stomach hurts, you're in the washroom way too often in a day, way more than you should be. And when you fast, this is the complete opposite, right? Like your stomach feels good. You feel like everything digests perfectly. So that's why I love this fasting stuff, man. And I could totally see myself doing it for a very long time. That was kind of the next thing I was going to get into was how long am I going to be doing this fasting stuff for? And I think it's going to be a while because when you feel that good trying something new and it's literally helping you in every aspect of your life, why would you stop? It's extremely stupid to stop something that's working, right? And that is helping you perform at a more optimal level. So, for fasting for me, it's going to be something in the future I constantly do. Even me and my brother have already planned that we've never tried this before. We want to do a 3-day 72-hour water fast in the new year to start the new year off good. And I'm looking forward to that. I know it's probably going to feel like shit. And the reason why I know it's probably going to feel like shit is because when I was fasting during Lent, it was a 24-hour window, right? But when we fasted last Wednesday, I stopped eating 8 o'clock on Tuesday, and I didn't eat till Thursday at 10 a.m. So I think I'm not going to do the math right now, but I feel like it was 37 hours or something. That's the longest I've ever fasted in my whole entire life. And yeah, by the next morning when I woke up, I did not see the same benefits. Like I didn't have really the mental sharpness. I did feel extremely tired. And I also like the thought patterns and stuff, like getting negative thoughts. They were back. It's not like they completely disappeared. But yeah, I think like at least after the 24 hours, I haven't seen any benefits in my recent attempts of doing it. But we'll see, right? Once I do that 72-hour fast, how I feel. And I'll definitely make a video like right after that. Like if I do the fast on January 1st, January 4th, a video will be coming out explaining how my 72-hour fast went. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to come on here and kind of explain what I've been doing recently with my diet and my training now. Also, I guess I could get into the training. I don't really need to do something else, another podcast for the training. But now my training is uh, more targeted at being an overall athlete, I guess is the word. I don't know. I don't really know if I should use athlete because I wouldn't consider myself an athlete, but I'm basically doing Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday bodybuilding sessions. So I want to keep the muscle. I want to get strong in the compounds. So I'm still keeping that in. But Wednesday, me and my brother are going to spar. We're going to jump rope. We're going to do core. And then we're going to hit the sauna. I never hit the sauna before, so I'm looking forward to that. That's actually, when this video comes out, it'll be the same day. But I'm recording this on Tuesday. So I will be doing that tomorrow. Looking forward to it. And then Saturdays are calisthenic days. Honestly, just practicing moves, doing the pull-ups, doing the dips, attempting some cool calisthenic tricks, I guess is the word. I don't really know. I'm very new to it. And then Sunday is going to be an active rest day. It's 10,000 steps. I feel like we put in like 30 minutes of mobility because mobility is very important. Even though my teachers in high school always told me that, but I didn't want to listen. I just wanted to bench press. But it is very important. So we implemented that. And now we're kind of on a 7-day split, but the training is not as hard because there's so much volume. And I guess that's what you got to do, right? Like, obviously, you guys probably know this, but the trade-off is if you're doing a lot of volume, the intensity shouldn't be that high, right? So I guess the intensity kind of went down, but the volume's higher. And yeah, just trying to feel better, man. Trying to feel better mentally, trying to feel better physically. If I could hold this body weight of 185 and change up my body composition from doing these, different types of training, the fasting and stuff. That will make me very happy. And yeah, just try to hold on to as much muscle as possible while also becoming stronger in all those other aspects, stronger mentally, because that's a very important thing for myself. And yeah, guys, I just wanted to come on here and explain the fasting and how it's helped me a lot. And I'm not telling you that you should do it, but if you want to try it, I would recommend. And I'm not saying you do, but it's definitely something that maybe you should consider, research before doing it. And I'm telling you guys, I would love to hear your guys' takes in the comments, in the reels, the shorts, whatever, about if you've attempted fasting before and how you felt on it. And yeah, guys, I just want to mention this last thing too. It's like fasting's mentioned over 70 times in the Bible. So like you could see the importance of it. And I know like I haven't read the scriptures yet, or like the verses where fasting is spoken about, but I know it brings you closer to God when it comes to faith. So yeah, I feel like it's important, and maybe it is so beneficial, right? Because if you're constantly digesting food over and over and over again, never giving your digestive system a break, fasting's that break it needs, right? So like I'm saying, maybe consider it. So thank you guys if you made it this far, because that means you enjoyed the podcast and that makes me happy. Also, remember to follow us on Spotify. I want to grow on there and get you could rate it if you've been listening to it on Spotify as well, because that helps with the algorithm. So thank you guys for keeping up and sticking with me through all of these episodes. We gain insight in order to move forward in life. Take care, everybody, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.